but elsewhere too. The night cars that are already knocked at doors, with the eyes of godlamb, the night love of dead trees, the 5-stoned fat of sunlight behind the night's spangle of solace, the park firing of birds, the park's angels, the unaskingness of grey, the fear of crumbling trophies, an unbraided nettle hanging, the night that is your collarbone, the night that is a wife, the night's common breath, the night watching over the year and requiting the vertical fars of land with seesaw heads. From the vertical fars of land. As a poet, you should struggle and push against the walls of the language you write in. And Bellamacina does this to new levels, and perhaps more brilliantly than any poet of her generation, creating new phrasings in English, which make at first only musical sense. How I sleep in the memories of you now, handful laughter, spidering in tin box letters, your smiles that kill me brighter now. In the hours of our bones that struggle light, silvers of blue recording each other's ashes, small but eternal wood-adorned kingdoms bringing libraries now. Made away from us in stairways, upwards to bedrooms and windowless strangerlessness. From First Sleepers. Strangerlessness isn't really a word, of course, but in the context of this poem, it is a lovely and secret new word for love. Finally, her poetry is a poetry of light. It seems to give word form to light in the way that people who are gifted with synesthesia might give colour form to music. 7 dozing swans, rushing so quickly that we mistake them for paper, and we know all the things we know now, that the sun always pulls the light back, and we are always solared by dreams, sabotaging objects, killing quickly and making us bored, and the gazing electrical shelters have a home for us. There is rain and new surviving youth. In this poem, the electrical shelters gaze. Strange objects are often personified or given subjecthood in Bellamacina's poems. Objects from the close to the far, from the furniture to the stars, take on our emotions and we take on theirs. Everything seems to have liquid selfhood and everything seems to be emotionally awake. Spangling to a teenage dream made of clay, flowering and cracking in the wound of the living, it moves an ink tree supersonic, bluer always and more real, turning like alchemy, reined up, oval, alive, a villa of calligraphy squares, horses, a small Salvation Army of conquest dust. From The World is Moved by Love. Often, it's like Bellamacina is translating her poems back into English from either a much more ancient or a much newer language. Stranded Hurricane, so rare you almost enjoy its fizzing ring-rangs, scent frenzy reading the water for a chance of wedlock, offering you the ecstasy of rapstone games. Still, you think of the daisy's passing breath, rising in moonlight and mending everything. You ache their neck strings, a swan lion, playing a low symphony agreement. From The Weight of a Violin. When the Paris Review wrote to the young California poet Robert Lundquist in 1969 to ask permission to publish one of his first poems that their editor had come across and liked, they asked him, P.S. What language has this English version been translated from? Lundquist had written it in English. But I think this illustrates how a great poem should always feel slightly awkward in the language you find it in. And a really great poem should feel like it's been translated back from an unnameable language. I first read André Breton, Paul Eluard, and Jacques